this moment, right now. And the now is you. Now isn't the present time. Now is you. This moment is the first moment of eternal, everlasting moments. Now, why is that important? Because we need to stop dragging all the junk, all of the expectations, all of everything, in a sense, of what we've learned, perhaps, except what's absolutely valuable, is to drop it. And instead of being, right now, people are in their mind, analyzing, figuring out, calculating, thinking how to prevent future lack and loss and pain or suffering, death. All of these thoughts, and then dragging what you could have, should have, or would have done. How can you be empowered with the fullness of the grandeur and greatness and beauty and love of the divine that you are, because that's all that you are, if we're always thinking and analyzing and figuring out and going over past dialogues and past hurts and what others could have, should have, or would have, and what the family did, and the brothers and the sisters and the mothers and the uncles and the aunts, and this leader and this dictator and this person and this, blah, 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 the past. And it's never forget. Really? Well, because if you forget, you'll do it again. Really? That means keeping people guilty, ashamed, doubtful, terrorized, feeling bad, suffering. Why? In the divine experiment that, in a sense, that we're all participating in, to discover really who we really are and what's possible for us, instead of really opening ourselves to the fullness of who we are, we believe we are these physical bodies when we're not. No. We have a divine body, divine mind, divine intelligence that, when we know that, is manifesting and expressing through whatever form we are using, you see. And in the now, that means you being, every moment is the first moment. You could start again. And with all of the heartache that people are through, the conflicts, the fighting, all of this is a distraction to keep you, yes, you, from being who you really are. And that's beyond fear and self-doubt. You don't need confidence. What do you need confidence for? You need to know your divine and the powers that the divine have that are flowing and working through you as you. Yes. And so this moment is the first moment. How would you be to start again? Do you know that's one of the best secrets that in having good relationships is that when you see people that you've, say, known for a while, do you perceive them with all of your beliefs about them, all the collected hurts, or do you see them as you did the first time that you met them, and how beautiful they are and how sweet they are? And that does not mean, say, if it's a dangerous person in that way, someone who's really in a low level of ignorance, and yes, you don't lose your discernment. And it's not about hope that they're going to change. But the essence of it is by also perceiving yourself fresh in the moment. And why do people then long to leave this body to get a new body and to reincarnate? Because they could start over fresh. it's like, well, there's too much to deal with now. I've got too many mistakes. I've got too much. Where is it? You got it in a storage locker somewhere? What are you paying for that storage locker of the mind? To keep reminding you. Reminding you. Got it? Rewinding the mind script over and over. When in divine mind, all is known. It's just an ask away. Ask, and you shall know. Seek, and you shall find. Knock, and the door shall be opened. I always love that, because it's what door are you knocking on? The past, misery, and what a loser you are, and other people are, and all the disappointments, and all of this. And my daughter, Suzanne, had left this world a few years ago, and she was able to be with me, and I could take care of her in those last days and actually resolve a lot of issues for her. And it was just such a beautiful experience to be able to be with my baby and to serve her and take care of her at that, when she needed that and I needed that. But it was interesting how she said, I hate so-and-so. This was near the end. I hate that person. And it was this man in her life that she really wanted to marry, but his family wouldn't let her. And the family's control of him, and then she hated him. And thinking of that hatred, that we put the responsibility for our happiness onto others. And if we're not, and we have these disappointments because they could have been this way, or this could have happened. And how can we experience the real joy that we desire if we use everything we can to abuse ourselves? Hey, this moment is the first moment. You could start fresh. Just begin fresh. And when that mind wants to tell you all of these things, notice, where's that coming from, and where does it lead? In your heart and in the divine, all is possible. And we don't have to leave this body or get to the next place or the next relationship or anything before we get to be and experience the paradise, the pleasure of the divine, that is soul pleasure. And that soul pleasure also brings mind pleasure, in the sense the mind's not agitated. It's not your enemy. The mind is then your best friend. So, are you willing to let go? Or is that your identity? Is that the grudge you're keeping? Is that what keeps you alive? And isn't it interesting when someone said, oh, they lost their life? You can't lose your life. You are life. And that's why it's so important, if you're going to use words, to use them correctly, that actually validate your whole divine existence and beingness. And also to not talk as much. But before you speak, to notice, where's it coming from and where's it leading? And what if we give up all those grudges and the hate and the resentment and the sorrow and the depression? And you look at, have you been using it? Is that your story? Morning glory? Yeah. Our identity, then we put into, is all that, but it isn't. You're fresh. You're beyond time and age. Don't identify with the stories of the mind. Identify with your true self. So How about if we just whoosh, get rid of it? What do you need that for? Well, I need those lessons. Well, get the wisdom. You already have that. And then tune into divine wisdom that is all wise and all knowing. And let's take it and let's just throw it away. And you think, yeah, but if I change my mind, this and that. Wait a minute. When you're in the now and in the knowing and in the being, you always know and you always honor your inner guidance, but not that fear-based thinking. Own your power. Let's let it all go. Start fresh. You say, you know, about my age. Forget it. You can't die. Start living and being now as you desire to be in your future. You see. So let's just whoosh, let it go. You say, let it go. Take off that. It's just, no matter what people are depressed, carrying this stuff. Whew. Now, make your connection. Be who you are. Let your light shine.